Cue the Aerosmith.
I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep. That may or may not stay in the final video.
Yeah, we'll see.
Welcome back, everyone. We are Cinema Drinking Buddies, and in today's video, we are going to be looking at Armageddon.
Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again.
We are continuing Disaster Movie Month today. We are your hosts, Matt and Gio. And Gio, why don't you let them know what we're doing today for our drinks?
Well, today for our drinks, throughout the video, we're going to go ahead and do taste testing for different types of scotches.
The first one we're going to drink is kind of your discount one. This is Dewars White Label Scotch. And all the prices that I mentioned in this video are going to be from Total Wine, Spirits and More here in South Texas. So if you go to a different store or are in a different region, a 750 milliliter bottle of Dewars is going to cost $18.99. Not too expensive.
A little bit harsher.
Yeah. Not a huge fan.
There's a certain taste to it, but I just can't grasp it.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's not tasteless. It definitely has a taste, but like you said, it's just difficult to kind of pinpoint. The harshness of it kind of overrules the taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that is Dewars, and we will be trying more scotches as the video goes on.
The director is going to be Michael Bay. Of course, he's very recognizable. Done the Transformers movie, the Bad Boys 1 and 2, The Rock, and then that Netflix movie that came out, Six Underground. The producer is Jerry Bruckheimer. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He did the Pirates of the Caribbean, Training Day, and he did the new Bad Boys for Life movie that came out.
Yep. This movie really has a huge ensemble cast. You've got Bruce Willis, who plays Harry Stamper, Billy Bob Thornton, who plays Dan Truman with NASA. You've got Ben Affleck, who plays AJ Frost, Liv Tyler, who plays Grace Stamper, Harry Stamper's daughter, Will Patton, who plays Chick. And then you've got, in supporting roles, you also have Steve Buscemi, Owen Wilson, Michael Clark Duncan, Ken Campbell, and Jason Isaacs, just to name a few. So you've got a lot of people starring in this movie.
So let's go ahead and get started with the movie here. At the start of the movie, we learned that a Texas-sized asteroid is heading for Earth, and when it hits, all life will be destroyed. NASA prepares a mission to go out to destroy the asteroid before it hits Earth. They recruit a team of offshore oil drillers, led by Harry Stamper, to go with them to drill an asteroid where a bomb can be placed. After a very short training period, the team goes to the asteroid in 2 different space shuttles. Along the way, the Russian space station is destroyed. Several team members are lost, as well as one of the shuttles. They land on the asteroid and are able to drill the hole. However, due to the damage their equipment has taken, they are unable to remotely detonate the bomb. So Harry stays behind to detonate manually. When the crew arrives home, they are treated as heroes, and AJ, one of Harry's crew members, marries Harry's daughter, Grace. And cue the Aerosmith.
All right, well, thanks, Gio. So before we move on to discuss the movie further, let's go ahead and have our next drink.
Yeah.
This next one that we're going to have is probably pretty recognizable to most people who know just liquor in general.
Jimmy Walker.
Wait, what did you just say?
Is that Jimmy Walker?
Johnnie Walker.
Johnnie Walker.
I had to check.
Yeah, Johnnie Walker.
Johnnie Walker what?
That's it.
I thought you were saying something else.
I was going to say Texas Ranger, but that was a completely different person.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
You know we have 4 more of these, right, that we're going to do tonight?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is Johnnie Walker Black Label. This one at Total Wine & More is going to cost you about $31.99 for a 750 milliliter bottle. Cheers. Here's to it being better than Doers.
Smells better.
This taste definitely lingers more than the Doers.
Yeah. It's less harsh, but I'm not sure if I like the flavor as much.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's definitely smoother, but the flavor is just, it's almost like metallic-y, kind of.
Maybe. I know the other flavor, even though with the harshness, had a better flavor.
Yeah, I was going to say the Dewars might have had a better flavor overall. It smells better than it tastes.
Yeah.
I didn't smell it before I tasted it, which is probably a mistake. But so, like you were saying, they were successful. When they came back, they were treated as heroes. But I mean, like, there was a lot of destruction that happened just from like those little mini meteor showers. The Earth didn't get by completely scot-free.
No, not at all. There's one that hit the space shuttle in the beginning of the movie, basically destroyed that. Or, I think it was a space shuttle or space station.
There's a space shuttle, yeah.
And then another swarm of a meteor shower that hit New York City. One thing about this movie, it destroyed like trying to do monuments type of movie. So it destroyed the Empire State Building. The World Trade Centers were in it. And then you have the big one that hit Paris.
Paris, yeah.
And then another one that hit, what was it, Shanghai?
I think so.
The aftermath was going to be pretty great in this movie, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of destruction, but I mean, by them being able to stop the asteroid, they were basically able to save the whole world from being destroyed.
Yeah.
Especially that Paris one, because, like, New York got hit by a bunch of small ones. But, like, that Paris one, when it
was just one big one.
Yeah, when it zoomed out and it showed that, like, that, you know what I mean? The
blast?
Not the blast, but the path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The path. That's what this means.
Oh, I'm sorry. The crater.
Yeah, the crater. There you go. When it like zoomed out and showed the crater, like that was a crazy scene for me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to pour yours too.
Right? Oh, dude, I'm not gonna be able to take 3 more of these. And then even when they were on the asteroid,
oh yeah,
they got hit by the meteor shower there. Is that what caused the one shuttle? I can't remember if it was the Independence, right? That one to...
No, the Independence was AJ's shuttle, so that's the one that didn't work at all. But it wasn't the
meteor shower that caused it.
It was just
crash.
Debris or whatnot.
Okay. Yeah.
The meteor shower happened...
it was when they were already drilling, right?
Yeah.
Or when they were getting ready to start drilling?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think it took down the communication or whatnot. And that's what ruined the detonation. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And then, of course, you had the space station that blew up. But that wasn't caused by the asteroid. That was just like a malfunction with the fueling system.
I think it was just an old space station.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that one was like a fueling...
And it exploded.
Yeah, and it exploded. So a lot of damage in this movie. Even though the heroes won, a lot of things didn't make it. Little Richard made it, though.
Yeah, Little Richard.
Hang on, Little Richard, I'm coming! Don't you worry about it. We'll get you out of there. You okay, buddy? Don't worry about it. Hang in there.
Little Richard made it, and that's all that matters. But yeah, that meteor shower that hit, like you said, is I think you're right. I think that is when the one that hit the asteroid. I think that is the one that knocked out the remote detonation function and led to one of them, which was ultimately Harry having to stay behind to
sacrifice himself to go ahead and detonate it.
Mm-hmm. I think there's always a little bit more gravity in situations like that when the character that you've come to care about has to stay behind.
Or like the main character that you followed throughout the movie.
Yeah. When, that person dies. But I think they did it good because his death wasn't in vain. It wasn't like, oh, he died before they were able to accomplish their mission. Like, he died so that they could accomplish their mission. Whenever you kill the main character in a movie, or the main protagonist, it's always like, I feel like that's always a risk. But in this movie, they handled it well, I thought.
Because I can name some movies where you thought it was going to be the main character, or you thought that character's going to have a big role, and it turns out that they didn't.
Like Bryan Cranston in Godzilla.
I deserve answers!
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Terrible.
Have you recovered from your Johnnie Walker Black?
Yep.
Yeah. You ready for the next one?
Let's go to the next one.
All right. So this next one is a little bitty bottle. This is Chivas, I think is how you pronounce it. Chivas Regal Extra. This is the least expensive version of Chivas. This one is $35.99 for a 750 ml bottle.
So we're going up.
This is Chivas Regal. I think this is also a blend. Everything we've had so far is a blend.
Are malts more expensive?
I think they're more expensive just because they're, from what I've kind of learned and read up on, there's just not as many of them.
Oh, okay.
So.
It smells sweet.
It does. It's smooth going down, but it has like an afterbite that gets you.
Yeah. It's kind of like the first one, but not as harsh.
Yeah.
But the flavor is like...
I like the flavor of this one a lot better.
Yeah, the flavor is like the first one.
Yeah, it has a little bit of an afterbite that I don't think Johnnie Walker kind of had. but it doesn't have that sort of like metallic-y taste to it. Mm-hmm. This one, I like this one.
But I've had multiple people tell me that Scotch is a acquired taste.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely have a different taste to them, a different feel to them than all the other ones we've tried. We've tried so far this month bourbon, Irish whiskey, and Canadian whiskey. I mean, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You know, in all of them. Well, let's go ahead and get into our quick takes. So at one point in this movie, the crew was moving at a speed of 9.5 Gs for 11 minutes. This is when the space shuttles were slingshotting around the moon to land on the asteroid. So I looked up 9.5 Gs and if that's the speed that achieved here on Earth. So what I found out is that military pilots and astronauts actually go through specialized training so that their bodies can withstand 9 Gs. Anything higher than that, loss of consciousness can kick in, blood flow to the head can be obstructed. In this movie, the crew, especially the drillers, did not have any sort of training for that, or at least didn't have enough ample training to be able to withstand 9 Gs. They would have and should have passed out from that. They were yelling, they were screaming. Even that wouldn't have happened. Let's say that they were able to withstand it and not pass out. The pressure on their chest would have been so much that they wouldn't have been able to say anything, let alone scream anything. When you ride a roller coaster here, your body experiences about 5 Gs. So about 5 Gs we can handle pretty well, but anything higher than that you really need to have training for, and anything higher than 9 Gs, which is what they experienced in this movie, you're definitely going to get a lack of consciousness.
All right, I'd like to talk about the space shuttle going to the moon. In the movie, it seems like it happens right away, especially from stopping to refuel at midpoint with the Russian space station. So I went ahead and did a little bit of research and like a little background check on it. So it is about 240,000 miles from the Earth to the moon. From what I was reading on and researching on it, it was about 3 days it would take. It took Neil Armstrong's space shuttle a little bit more than 4 days. That's a lot of time that is used up during this part. And so since they only had about 18 days, it seems it may be unlikely that they were able to do all this within that short time frame.
So in the movie, the idea was once they got on the asteroid, they were going to have to drill 800 feet down to plant a bomb. When they got on the asteroid, they had 8 hours left basically to drill this hole and plant the bomb. I wanted to look to see when people actually drill for oil, how long does it take to drill 800 feet? And what I found out is that a lot of land-based oil rigs can drill up to 250 to 300 meters a day. Now, when they say a day, I don't know if that means over a full 24 hours or over an 8, 10, 12-hour shift. But that's 250 to 300 meters a day. So if you take 250 meters, that's going to be a little bit less than 800 feet. 300 is going to be a little bit more than 800 feet. So, I mean, it's definitely doable in a day. But on this asteroid, they're not just drilling through rock. They're drilling through iron ferrite, which is a lot more sturdy than rock. So they're going to have a lot harder time drilling through this. Also, their last hour, they had to drill 250 feet in 1 hour. The way that the drilling was portrayed in the movie, if it was just normal rock and they were able to drill successfully for the full 8 hours, yeah, you know what? That might be kind of feasible. But all the issues they ran into, the type of surface they were having to drill into, what we really saw in the movie as far as drilling and how fast they drilled, especially in that last hour, really is not very realistic.
All right, so it's time for our fourth taste test.
So for this next one, I kind of have a story about this one. When we went to actually go buy the scotch, we bought this little bottle here of Glenlivet 12, but I had this bottle of Glenlivet 12 already here at home. And I was trying to figure out what the difference is between these two, because when I went on the website to price it, like they were using these two bottles sort of like interchangeably with each other. So when I looked to see what the difference was online, apparently in May of last year, they actually switched from this label to this label. So these are actually the same thing.
Oh, okay.
This one here for a 750 milliliter bottle is going to run you $41.99 at Total Wine. Wow. So we're getting up there. But yeah, this is the Glenlivet 12. This one is a single malt.
Oh, is it a single?
This is a single malt, where the others have been blended.
Oh.
I like the way this one smells a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, there is a pretty big difference between a single malt and a blended.
Yeah. Yeah, I could get used to this one.
That's an interesting aftertaste. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It does. I wasn't really paying attention to that, but now that I've finished it and there's no more to drink, I'm realizing that, yeah, there is kind of an interesting aftertaste to this one. It's not bad.
No.
But it's there. It kind of lingers. So one of the things that we looked into for this movie was this team of offshore drillers were brought into NASA with basically 18 days. There are 18 days left from the moment they were brought into NASA to when the asteroid is going to hit the Earth. So they had like 12 days to actually train to be astronauts. Mm-hmm. So I thought it might be fun to look into what actually goes into real astronaut training. Obviously, they train more than 12 days. Yeah. And there's going to be certain requirements that you have to be an astronaut.
Well, you can't just like step in and say, hey, I'm ready.
First of all, they want you to have a bachelor's degree in in engineering or mathematics or some kind of science, whether it be biological science, physical, or even computer science. 3 years of professional experience, like as a pilot, or 1,000 hours of pilot in command time in a jet. You have to pass a physical exam, like very well. You need to have other skills like scuba diving, wilderness survival experience, leadership experience. And today's astronauts, I don't think this was true back when this movie was made, but I read that today's astronauts actually have to be able to speak Russian.
Oh, wow.
I think they'll teach it to you there, but they won't actually let you become an astronaut unless you know how to speak Russian, just because of how prominent they are in just the whole space, race, all that stuff. And then for training, 2 years just for basic training. So, I mean, there is an extensive amount of training and experience that you have to become an astronaut. I'm highly doubtful that Bruce Willis's crew of oil riggers had a lot of required experience.
Well, they might have survival.
They might have survival. Yep, they might have survival experience. Steve Buscemi's character probably had the education.
Oh yeah, because he was at MIT, right?
Yeah,
MIT.
he was a really smart dude. I don't think any of them passed the physical though.
No.
I don't think.
Or when they're in that room,
the psychological test. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that really drives me nuts is people that think that Jethro Tull is just a person in the band.
Who's Jethro Tull?
I don't think any of them had pilot or flight experience. So I feel like that would have been made known.
No, I think Chick did.
Did he?
Yeah. I think he had some type of past experience, if I remember correctly.
I don't think any of them had the 2 years of basic training under their belt yet. In a survival situation where certain skills are going to be of the essence, like this one, exceptions might be made. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, you got to have all this experience, all this education, go through all this training just to be an astronaut or just to be considered to be an astronaut on the space shuttle team. Because what I was reading is that a lot of astronauts, most of their time isn't even spent on the shuttle or in outer space. Most of their time is spent on the ground supporting other missions or doing research, things like that. So just because you become an astronaut doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get up there.
Yeah, well, we don't have that many space shuttles that go into... Yeah. Well, we had that one recent one, but before that was like, what, maybe 5 years before? 6 years
the space shuttle program was shut down a few years ago. So they're still bringing in, people to be astronauts, but you're not really...
There's so much else involved.
Yeah, there's so much involved, that a lot of them don't even go out into space. So training, education, experience, there's a lot of that goes in. More than 12 days worth, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so what do you say we go ahead and have that last scotch?
Yep, let's go.
All right. This one is the most expensive. You're going to be looking at $44.99 for a 750 milliliter bottle. This one is Glenfiddich. This is also a single malt, 12-year Glenfiddich single malt independent family distiller since 1887. This one smells nice. Cheers. There's not much after this one.
No, there's hardly any, or almost no bite.
Yeah. The aftertaste, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of aftertaste with anything, but compared to the others, like this one doesn't linger like the others did.
No. I can't tell if there's a taste to it or not. Maybe a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, there's a taste. Kind of let it sit in your mouth for a little bit. Now that we've tried all 5, of the 5 we tried, which is your favorite?
I'll have to say Glenlivet.
I'd probably have to say the same as well. I think that one it was smooth like this one, but I think it had a more pronounced flavor.
I kind of like the bite at the end.
Like this one just kind of stops.
Mm-hmm.
Like you drink it and like that's it. But that one had a little bite at the end, and it was a good bite. So yeah, I'd have to agree. I like the Glenlivet as well.
It's a really good sipping drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could sip that one. The Johnnie Walker Black Label kind of made me sad. Like I feel like I should have liked that one more, but I just didn't.
Yeah, probably.
It had a weird taste.
Yeah, but I think compared to the others, I think that's why I kind of like fell a little shorter.
No, this one I like this one too. It just kind of stops on you though.
Yeah, I think it would have to be the Glenlivet and then the Regal, and then the Glenfiddich, and then the Doers, and then the Black Label.
I would still put the Black Label ahead of the Dewars. For me, it's probably going to be Glenlivet, the Chivas, the Glenfiddich, and then Black Label, and then Dewars. Rinse out your glass because I want to have you try another one. This isn't going to...
Oh, it's like a bonus one?
Yeah, this is like a bonus one. We're not going to take this one into consideration as far as like favorites. I have here a small bottle of the Chivas Regal 18 year. All the other ones here that we've tried they've been at the most 12 years. This is an 18 year. And the reason I bought this one, this little bottle right here, hold on just a moment. If you guys remember in the last video we did, we tried Canadian whiskey. And one of the Canadian whiskeys that we tried was this one, the Rich and Rare Reserve. This is a full-size 750 milliliter bottle, and it costs $8.99. And I was like, for $8.99, that's not going to be a very good whiskey, but it was actually decent. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not the greatest whiskey I've ever had, but I mean, for $8.99, and if I was going to have shindig and I needed a bunch of whiskey, I might go for this one because I mean, this will definitely do the job. So this big bottle was $8.99. This little tiny 50 milliliter bottle of the Chivas Regal 18 year was $10.99.
Oh wow!
This bottle right here that I'm holding was $10.99. 750 ml bottle is going to be $69.99.
Ooh, so the most expensive one.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be fun just to try this one to see what a $70 Scotch tastes like. When I saw that little bottle there, even though it was expensive, I'm like, oh, I can't pass up that opportunity to try a $70 Scotch. 18 year Chivas Regal standard bottle is going to be $70. It's really smooth.
Yeah.
It's really smooth.
It has a taste.
It has a taste. I don't know if I like the taste though. It's almost like the taste is almost like a toned down Johnnie Walker Black. Like I feel like the taste isn't as imposing as that one, but it's sort of the same kind of taste. I feel like I like the other Chivas better. I mean, this is definitely a lot smoother than the other Chivas. This is probably...
It reminds me of the Glenfiddich.
Yeah, the smoothness, definitely reminds me of the Glenfiddich. But the flavor reminds me of the Johnnie Walker. I still like the Glenlivet better.
Yeah.
I still like the Glenlivet better. I'm sorry, this is a $70 whiskey. But I just thought it'd be fun to try that one out, just to kind of see what a $70 one is like. That one was really smooth, though. Like, for me, at least, it was...
Yeah, like, I was waiting for that bite to come out.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah. Like, that was probably the smoothest of all the whiskeys we've had, but the flavor just didn't do it for me. So we both like the Glenlivet. How did you like the movie, Armageddon?
You know what? I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes to see the movie, and it didn't get very good reviews.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. But I always enjoy disaster movies.
Yeah.
Disaster movies always get to me. So, but the fact that it is a disaster movie and supporting actors and cast are decent. They're not in the best role, but they're decent. Not the best lines or anything like that. But outside of that, it's still enjoyable. It's something that I would watch every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long movie, so if you're going to watch it, you got to set some time aside to watch it.
I didn't know it was that long, but
yeah.
After looking at it, yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. But yeah, I think that's really all you can ask for when it comes to disaster movies. I don't think you're going to get a cinematic masterpiece of a movie, especially ones that deal with like natural disasters. I don't think you're going to get like science correct all the way. They're just fun movies. Even though there's a lot of destruction, it's in death, it makes you feel good at the end when they succeed.
Yeah.
And when humanity is saved or when the main character is saved, I think that's really all
or one of the main characters is saved.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what you look for in a disaster movie. So from that standpoint, yeah, it was good. Is it my favorite movie? No, probably not even my favorite disaster movie. It's a classic. Michael Bay. I think even Michael Bay said like he didn't like the movie. It's a movie that if I caught it on TV, I'd watch it. It's a good movie.
There's a lot of Aerosmith in the movie too. So
oh yeah,
not the band, just the music. But
yeah, a lot of Aerosmith in this movie, and that's not a bad thing.
Yep,
it's not a bad thing.
Only 2 songs, but yeah.
Yeah, well, when you have more than one song by the same artist in a movie, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. You've just watched our thoughts and opinions on Armageddon. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of this movie, and if you noticed anything that we didn't, or if you have any thoughts that we didn't come up with, if you disagree with our review, let us know down there.
Yep, leave it in the comments. Please like, subscribe.
Follow us on Twitter at Buddy Cinema. We're trying to tweet every now and then, but right now while we don't have that many followers, there's not really too much of a point. But follow us on there. We're gonna start tweeting more once we get more followers. We'll do watch-alongs and things like that. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yep. So see you next time.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Why do I do this? Because the money's good, the scenery changes, and they let me use explosives, okay?